Hi, everybody. So, this has been a very good day, but super busy. And sorry I'm coming on so late. We're burning the midnight oil, but it just can't be helped. Trying to, um, it's just been so busy. So, trying to answer and get all the facts, research, and do our best for you to give you the truth on day 1,725 days since Richard was taken forcibly taken out of his barracks and and they took his life. They took his life. This cartel tied criminal trafficking group that's tied to the Walmart mass shooting. And so today was a very big day. It was the essentially almost the end of the Walmart mass shooting case as we know it. Um, as far as these players that are up to no good, they've had years and years to get a death penalty and they failed they Sam Madrano was like, you failed. I think he was looking in the mirror and going, you failed the people of El Paso. He absolutely failed, and there's a lot of things that happened today that we're trying to still understand and be able to present to the public, since the media seems to, you know, there should be national media all over El Paso on this one. I mean, this is supposed to be, I think, the largest mass shooting in U.S. history, right? I think so, right? And I think that there is uh, some kind of block on national media. It is kind of obvious. I think it is obvious. We'll see. We'll see. Because there's clearly something very, very stinky going on. And I think that we have given the public the truth as we get the information, we give it to you right away. We really do. Well, after we confirm it, and then we present it to you. And so let's try to analyze and describe what happened today. It was absolutely a big dog and pony show, wasn't it? It was just a one big dog and pony show. It was just a farce, an absolute farce that happened today. And we know that James Montoya, who tries to act like he's new on this case, but that's why we had to put together the meme chart showing that he's been there all along beside Jaime Esparza when he was the DA on this case, and beside Patrick Crusius' brother-in-law, Michael G. Mayella, in the DA's office. James Montoya was the assistant district attorney, one of the assistant district attorneys, right from the beginning, and absolutely knows Michael Mayella. Okay, absolutely knows Michael Mayella Sr., Michael F. Mayella. Okay, there's a Michael F. Mayella, the father, and Michael G. Mayella, the son, the football player, the trained hacker, the cybersecurity technician that was working at Walmart, cybersecurity, that was working in the DA's office with access to all of these cases, and was working at the FBI El Paso field office with all the access to the cases. So, absolutely, um, James Montoya knows what's going on. And, he should do a lot of apologizing, but he should do, I was told today, I was sent a message saying, "Oh, I have this fantasy that the case would end, and as they were walking out of the court, the police were there waiting to handcuff all these, Judge Samadrano and Joe Spencer and Felix Valenzuela and Mark Stevens and James Montoya and all of because they're absolutely totally criminal in all of this. They're so criminal, amongst others. Um, and and I was like, well, that's a pretty good fantasy. That's a pretty good dream. Um, but so what was going on today that I call it a farce because I want to back it up with some good information. What should have happened? Number one, Patrick Crusius was paraded around in jail clothes and a bulletproof vest and chains, and he has showed nothing but he surrendered twice, and he uh, should not be put in handcuffs until after the plea deal, right? It's not normal. And I'm not trying to defend Patrick Crucius here. I'm saying when you look at all these other cases, did you see these defendants coming in chains and all of that? And all scraggly, right? All scraggly. It's like the defense was not doing their job, right? You know, you yeah, yeah, absolutely. The defense didn't do, and that has really bothered me, and it bothered me in like the hearing where Loretta Lynn Hewitt, the former prosecutor, that confirmed that Bill Hicks was tampering with evidence because her notebooks were missing, and she, uh, put that in the public forum in the hearing. She testified to that kind of tampering, and that Bill Hicks had 2 years to get a death sentence, to get a plea deal. And what did he do? He left the office with tampering with a prosecutor's notebooks, right? Missing notebooks. Where's her notebooks? He's tampering with evidence with with John Briggs, right? That was in the hearing. That's just not me. So, you know, you can tell there's years and years of this. They try to blame it, on the pandemic or whatever. And Yvonne Rosales, who was the only one that offered a trial date, that was offering herself to prosecute this with, to show the public, to show the judge evidence, which goes to ask to how did Sam Madrano accept this plea deal that was pre-signed? Okay, it was pre-signed, and we know from Patrick Crucius's history, failing kindergarten, hitting himself, having severe autism, and me being a school teacher and understanding what that means with the fine motor coordination, which, it's like, okay, who, how did he even handle a gun, right? Or a rifle, when he couldn't even like tie his shoes when he was 18, and he could barely write his name, and all this fine motor coordination and sensory, autism and his severe mental health conditions, really mess with your sensory. And so, it was obvious to me, that there was a good health reason um, why they had a pre-signed plea deal offered today. I just, that was wow. He couldn't sign it in front of everybody in the court, in front of the judge. And why would Judge Sam Madrano accept it like that, unless he knew, right? And why would he accept a plea deal so what we understand, because of Bill Hicks, see, Bill Hicks kind of reorganized the indictment to one count of multiple deaths. Okay? One count of multiple deaths. That's interesting because, a lot of newspapers right now, or news that we were reading through, they're kind of reporting that the plea deal was for 22 deaths when there were 23 deaths. Why 22 deaths? Because of Memo Garcia. That's a whole nother story. Um, it's a big story. But one count of capital murder for multiple deaths. That was really the charge. And then 22 is for those that survived, okay, that were harmed with a deadly weapon and survived. And this, uh, just it's so obvious that they're trying to control things. Um, because why would Sam Madrano accept that and thinking 45 people, right? 23 dead, 22 injured, and not want the death penalty, right? It confirms that he knows that there's a problem with the case. It confirms that he knows he's been involved in a backroom deal. Okay, that's what this confirms. There's no doubt in my mind, because the next thing is with the plea deal. Normally, you would read through each line to put it into record, right? And in each line, you would get the agreement. Do you agree with this, Patrick Crusius? Do you understand this, Patrick Crusius? This is what you are agreeing to. You're saying that you're guilty. Are you agreeing to this? And you're agreeing to this, and you're agreeing to this, and you're agreeing to this. And that would be put into record, his agreement for all of this, because he's losing his life. He's, life imprisonment. And then he's saying he doesn't want any kind of appeal. He doesn't want any kind of appeal because that would put the evidence, the case, into others' hands to look at the case. And so he clearly, without a mental health evaluation, without a competency hearing, there's something really stinky going on, because all Judge Samadrano is doing is agreeing to this plea deal without reading it out, without agreeing to it, with this massive amount of life loss, without a death penalty, and then says, "So, Patrick Crucius, you understand what's going on? You're competent. You're competent for this." You know, and it's such a farce. It is a disgrace. And this is costing millions of dollars. I think maybe tomorrow we'll find out. But today, the plea deal is not even given to the press. Where is the plea deal? Maybe someone saw it and we didn't see it. If you've seen it, let me please know. Text me, because I think it's very, very interesting that that's kind of being withheld from the public. Um, this seems to be very, very controlled. No appeal for life imprisonment. Um, Without a competency, with so many problems. Um, yeah. So, and for one count of capital murder for multiple deaths. That's how they got around, because he did admit, as far as Joe Spencer goes, to only killing one or two. Well, only, I don't like to use that word, but that's in the quote, okay? And one is too many. One is too many. So, but we don't really know because no evidence was put forth. There's no evidence. So this is confirms that Judge Sam Madrano is doing a cover-up job here, backroom deal job here, a circus, a farce, because he's letting someone without a competency hearing, without a mental health evaluation, agree to a plea deal, that will put him away for life without parole, without even an appeal, because waiving his appeal, when there's all kinds of his rights that were violated during this whole thing. Clearly, and we know that. And I'm not defending him. I'm just saying the process was botched. The process was botched, and and then James Montoya doesn't talk about DA Jaime Esparza's sister being there in the Walmart and calling him and him going there and walking the crime scene, um, um, tampering with the crime scene, right? Tampering with the crime scene. We've even been told that he filmed the crime scene. Where is the film then, if he filmed the crime scene? And then you have Michael Mayella, and of course, the whole Mayella Crucius family, that absolutely debunks the whole that this was random, that he drove down, just on a random whim because he heard that there's Hispanics here when he had an apartment in San Antonio. There's a lot of Hispanics in San Antonio. Um, and then having family here, and they were saying, "Oh no, he didn't have any connections in El Paso," which was clearly a lie. So James Montoya, knowing all of this because he worked with the brother-in-law right there in the DA's office, Michael G. Mayella, um, he knows all of this, and he clearly is caught in lie after lie and deception, absolute deception. I think that's the best word. This is just one big deception after the other instead of them doing their job. And yet they took millions of dollars with this open checkbook agreement, without even looking into the finances of Patrick Crusius and his family, just putting 000 and putting the application, the key, right? The key to the open checkbook, the application for appointed counsel, approving it at 5:42 in the morning, right? On the 4th, the uh, just hours after the shooting, just hours after the shooting. Nor 5:42 in the morning on a Sunday morning, just hours after the shooting, and they already approve the open checkbook to milk the American people, milk the county for every millions of dollars that they could get to run this deception, to run this total deception for personal gain. And so, uh, no evidence, no reading it out aloud to have it put into record and have Patrick Crusius agree to it and understand it. No, parading him around again, looking all scraggly and like he's some danger, but yet he surrendered himself twice. Um, is no opportunity to speak. He was not given an opportunity to address the public, which is absolutely a normal procedure. So, all of the normal procedures, the standard operating procedures, as we would say in the military, they were, it was just violated. It was just clearly something very, very stinky is going on. But what is good news is that this has happened, that they're not dragging it out and continuing to absolutely rob the public. But James Montoya needs to apologize for robbing the public, for tampering with his anti-bribery statement, for not even giving us the anti-bribery promise before his oath of office, which, according to the Texas Constitution, now, that's the law of the land. He is not even supposed to be there. He is illegitimate. He has no authority in any case. In any case, he is not the rightful district attorney. He's not a district attorney at all. And so that makes this another deception. And then tampering with the 2028 stamp is another deception. Um, you, it's there's just so much that are lies and deceptions, and it's just all twisted. It's just stinky from the top to the bottom. And now Patrick Crusius will be in the hands of the state of Texas. He'll never go to um, the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Okay. He's not going to go to federal prison because the primary jurisdiction was with the state of Texas. They're the ones that indicted Patrick Crusius first. And so they have the original jurisdiction. And so he will serve the Texas time first, which is life imprisonment, without parole, without appeal, without being tested for competency, without given a mental health evaluation. Um, and the evidence is overwhelmingly that something else happened on that day. Uh, it's overwhelming. So this is just really a human rights violation. And, I don't think that the senator from Maryland is going to rush down here to be incensed about the human rights violations of Patrick Crusius. I don't think he will. He's too busy going to El Salvador, right? So, and of course, Veronica Escobar is mirror, mirror on the wall. She just is totally focused on her own criminal self. So, you know, and this is not totally about Patrick Crusius. It's about the criminal judicial system in El Paso that has been so violated, right? That allowed this to happen to Patrick Crusius. In the federal courthouse, in the DA's office, in the FBI's office, in the criminal law magistrate court there, in the media, on Fort Bliss, um, in the El Paso Police Department. And, from the comments that I read, there's not very many kind words. I mean, people get it. People get it. Of course, there are some that really, really hate Patrick Crusius because they're still hypnotized. Um, for the wrong reasons. Let's just say that they really hate him for the wrong reasons, because they're hypnotized with this white supremacist this false narrative of racism and all of that. No, that it's called a major crime network, and it's very, very obvious that this was a conspiracy, that this, and you can like that word or not, but it was absolutely, they conspired together to do this terrible, terrible thing. And they are absolutely conspiring together to keep it sealed, to keep it from, really protecting all of the evidence. They have don't even give Sam Madrano the evidence. So, and Sam Madrano absolutely agrees with no, with just his speech, which was, you made you want to go and, um, you know, I want to say puke, but it was just a disgusting display. It really was. Whoever wrote that for him, just a disgusting display. So, but it was for us, for Richard's case, for El Paso. As far as the economics goes, it was a good day. It's glad that they cannot milk the public millions and millions more every day for this farce. So it needed to end, and now a new. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot happening behind the scenes that um, we're not quite at liberty yet to say, but know that there are ongoing and active investigations, and that this is why this was brought about, right? This is why they even ended it. Why would you want to turn off your spigot if you can just delay, 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 and you have, this network to help you delay and make millions of dollars? They wouldn't want to turn off. They would want to keep it another 3, 4, or 5 years, right? Um, into maybe 2030, right? So it is it is a good day, and we'll see what happens with Richard's case with this, because I think it's a very good day for Richard's case. Um, and Yeah, that is really, thank you so much, everybody, for sharing with K Fox it was on, and KTSM, and um, any other Univision I saw. Please share the information, because the people need to know. People need to know. We don't want lies. We don't want deception. We want to know. And if they would have failed, like if James Montoya would have failed um, doing the right thing, we might have, grumbled and everything like that. But this was all deception. This was absolute deception for personal gain, for personal financial gain, and personal political gain. And that is, that's just disgusting. They're just really the worst kind of criminals. And so I think the truth is all going to come out, and uh, the it's the beginning a beginning of it's kind of like you move the ball 10 yards, right? And you have to start again and move it again 10 yards, and that's what we're doing. We're closer, and things are really all being revealed. And I think for Patrick Crusius, and the Walmart case, that is very, very true. And the Walmart mass shooting is very, very connected with the Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, the Danae Katz and Ambrice, the Ambrice family, the 3905 Bliss Avenue. The Ambrice family, of course, is connected to 14380A. Which is Richard's battalion. And, so it's all connected. Uh, and so, with every inch that we expose and totally figure out what happened with the Walmart case, gets us closer to getting Richard's remains. and accountability in Richard's case. So, yeah, today was a very good day, and thank you so much for all of the sharing. So, uh, we will be back.